there, guys, and of course, welcome yourselves in for yet another one with us, the Review Bros. My name's Aaron. Thank you, of course, for joining along on yet again, surprise, surprise, a pre-workout review. And this one's slightly different to the typical pre-workout that's out there on the market. And I'll get into why. Now, I've got something a little strange to tell you. A big thank you to Synful Supplements for sending down their pre-workouts. And there's actually 3 that we've been sent. This one that I'm reviewing today is called Hybrid Mass. I've also got their Bloodlust Neuro, which is a non-stimulant focus blend. And another pre-workout, Nightmare, which is another hybrid type pre-workout. However, ungrateful as it may sound, and thank you to them for sending them on down, it appears they've not sent down their flagship pre-workout, their high stimulant pre-workout called Beast. Now, I do hope in the future we can get into that. It seems strange that they've sent down these sort of non-flagship pre-workouts. And in truth, I find them a little bit strange. I love the design. I've got to say, I really enjoy it. I'll get into all of the whys I've even said that. Now let's get into this one today and see how pre-workout mass this is going to deliver. Let's find out now. Okay, so of course, first segment, taste and mixability. And this hybrid mass pre-workout comes in 3 different flavors. It comes in a watermelon flavor, it comes in a strawberry colada flavor, and the flavor we've got for the sake of today's review, and the flavor I would pick if I had an open choice, Fierce Unicorn Candy. So, let's do this, guys. So I'm gonna go with a full serving. It's a very fine looking powder. And it does have a unicorn candy floss-like smell in the air. So in goes a full scoop. Obviously, I've used it before the sake of this flavor section. So I do have a score in mind, but for the sake of the camera, let's roll through it again. So nice bit of cold water, mixability, pretty solid, and I'm not surprised. It's like I say, a very fine powder. Good. Now, let's get it down the hatch and see. All in all, not bad. Quite a subtle flavour. It's candy floss. There is a chemical bitter back edge to it. It doesn't overpower the flavour. A little bit of sweetness, no sourness here. It's not bad. I have had better ones. It's a hard flavour to compete against because there's some brilliant ones on the market. What would I give it out of 10? I'm going to be very fair in giving it a 7 out of 10. You're not complaining. You're also like, yeah, it's all right. It's okay. It's okay. I think that's the key word. Let's move into the price point now. Okay, so we now, of course, move into the price of the pre-workout. Is it breaking the bank? And I do know, obviously, Synful Supplements, a US company. In terms of where you can get it in the UK, head on over to Insight Supplements. I'm not sure exactly what ones they got, but I know that they got in some of their products. So that's where you'll get it from the UK. If you're in the US, of course, you'll head on over to the official Synful Supplements website. You can see this pre-workout on there. It's a more expensive one because of the anabolic mass components. It comes in at $60 for a tub, or $59.99, right? It does come in a full serving, here we go, 20 servings. It is one of those 40-20. I think we need to be even more realistic here when we're talking about the mass components. You're going to want to be taking them at the maximum efficacious dosages, which is going by that full scoop. So 20 servings. It's consistency anyway. We always go by maximum serving because most people, we do believe, will do that. Therefore, it comes in at, you know it, it's $3 per go. UK guys, for the sake of a pure translation across, £2, 20 Great British Sterling. You're right, it is an expensive pre-workout on paper. And in fact, where our consistent price and scale is a 5 out of 10 on average, this one, 2.5 out of 10 and only just missing the 2 out of 10. So look, it's expensive. You've got to remember you are also throwing in the mass side. I'll get into all of that at the end of the effects section, but you're paying for more than just a pre-workout. That's why it is so expensive. Is it worth it? Let's move into the next two components now, starting us off with, of course, the label. Okay, so in with the label of Hybrid Mass by Synful Supplements. Firstly, a well done on the packaging. I really like it. And I'm going to throw it out there, a well done on the uniqueness of the formulas. They're not your generic pre-workouts, all right? Is that a strength or a weakness? I don't know, but points for trying. This one is Hybrid Mass. And as I'll go through the label, you'll see it's not just a pre-workout. We're going, of course, by the full serving, the full scoop, the 20 servings. We start off with citrulline malate, 6 grams. It's an okay dose, you know, it's not bad. We're looking at 4 grams of pure citrulline if it's a 2-to-1 ratio. Pumps in the gym. Betaine anhydrous at 2 grams, a respectable dose. Jack of all trade, this one. Athletic performance, strength output, endurance, hydration benefits, and it's even nowadays been shown to help with cognition in the gym. Agmass, of course, agmatine sulfate at 1 gram, working with the citrulline malate for more nitro oxide production. Pumps in the gym. Nice. We've got Nitro Rocket, a trademarked ingredient, 300 milligrams. Of course, nitrates, here we go. Instantaneous nitro oxide. Pumps, working with the other two components there. We've got a creatine syn blend, which is creatine monohydrate, creatine ethyl ester, and creatine HCl. Not too sure about how they're broken down, but I will say 5 grams, we will take it. Nice. Full clinical dosage, perhaps above if the HCl's at a good dose. So I actually, in this occasion, like it in the pre-workout. I don't like it when you get it in your pre-workouts and it's not a full dose. You've got to then go and take more creatine. Just seems pointless. But here, you don't necessarily need to. Energy and Stim Blend now. Beta-alanine at the clinical 3.2 grams. Beta tingles, itchy, paresthesia, and endurance-based benefits down the line. Caffeine anhydrous, a nice 250, slightly lower. But I've got to say, I'll get into a little bit why I think that's better. Energy and stimulation. We do have, though, some more caffeine sources in the form of citrate and Infinergy, a slower digesting one and a fast digesting one. So energy in the gym. Your Himbine HCl, 2.54, adrenaline, fat burning effect, and of course some more energy to boot. Then we move into the natural anabolic blend. And we've got effectively beta hydrodeurosterone, which is like a beta ectosterone. We've also got testosterone in this formula. Now they're like plant things, right? Not hormones, not, guys, this is not your trend blend, right? This is natural stuff. I've had really good results with it in the past. That being said, I'm not too sure in hindsight. It was just beta ectosterone or testosterone. Nonetheless, if you're looking for natural things, we're looking good. We've got ourselves arachidonic acid, which I've used in the past. I like it. It's a good dose also. It ultimately triggers more inflammation. Inflammation in muscle leads to more of a trigger on muscle growth. So it goes down that route. It's about training stresses and the body reacting to it ultimately, reacting to the muscle breakdown and the inflammation and really trying to repair itself. We've got HMB from leucine, of course, more down the muscle breakdown route. It tries to stop the muscle breaking down during training, helps with recovery. And that wraps off that label. So yeah, guys, look, you've got to set your expectations here. It's not, like I just said, it's not trend, right? It's not even 1% a trend, but it might help you in some regards in terms of muscle building. I don't think necessarily muscle building is the right word. It's more recovery. It's more stopping the catabolic effect of training, stopping muscle breakdown, and ultimately triggering stresses that you need from training. So I like it. I've got to say I like it. However, I'll get into it into the effects. Let's get through this label section. It's a longer one. I like it because it's unique. Then we move into the absorption matrix. Of course, we've got diet hoxibro. I can't even pronounce that one, but ultimately, of course, helping with the absorption rate. And the same can be said, of course, with the estrogen at 100 milligrams, which is a mega dose. Really important, actually, because you want to get those muscle building expensive compounds into the system without pissing them down the toilet. What do I think? Look, I like it for its uniqueness. However, at 20 servings with those muscle building ones, it's an investment. You're going to need 5 or 6 tubs of this. You're going to need to take it every day. Do you need a pre-workout every day? Definitely not on rest days. The jury is out. What do you think? Let's move into the effects now. Okay, so of course, guys, we are into the effects of Hybrid Mass by Synful Supplements. As I mentioned at the start, Synful Supplements, I'm not sure why, perhaps the pre-workout wasn't released yet, but their flagship pre-workout, we don't have that. We've got 3 of their other more, gonna be real, random pre-workouts to review. Not their flagship high stimulant one, which is what our audience, you probably, are more welcoming of. Anyway, look, I digress. Let's get into the effects of this pre-workout and why I think what I think. Beta alanine came in medium strength, 6 out of 10. I felt the tingles. I didn't feel them as much as I thought I would because we're looking at a lot of estrogen here. We're looking at a clinical beta alanine. I thought the tingles would be stronger. They were okay, let's be real. Now I'm gonna sound more negative in this effects section than perhaps some other pre-workouts in the past, right? Did I feel much from this pre-workout? No, I didn't feel much at all. You know, energy was okay. You know, I felt some energy. I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel any energy. I've used this one more times than most because I wanted to really be clear. And I know it's a unique formula. Points given for the uniqueness and the label and the fact that they've tried something different here. And they've done the same with their other hybrid pre that will get reviewed, right? However, when you are trying to balance 2 opposing things, you're always going to be up against it. It's kind of like making a sports car and an off-road car. You're not going to make the best sports car and you're not going to make the best off-roader. You're going to do well somewhere in the middle, but you're not going to excel. It's kind of like wanting to do bodybuilding and wanting to do high rocks. You need to pick your battle. And I feel like any of these hybrid type 2 angle pronged pre-workouts are never going to do, they can't excel in both. Now the reason I'm saying that is because obviously these muscle building components here, they need to be taken every day. You don't take pre-workout every day. And also, really importantly, 20 servings, you're not gonna notice that. You're not gonna notice it in that time frame. These ingredients, if you notice anything at all, let's be honest, because they are natural pieces, you're gonna need to take them for 2 to 3 months plus. Now, what's 3 months? 90 days. How many tubs are you gonna need? You're gonna need 4.5 tubs of this minimum to notice anything. And that's taking it on your rest days and any day, every day. So I think it's conflicting from that point of view. I don't think you want to do it. I don't think, I'd be surprised if anyone does it, right? No one's going to do it, okay? As a pre-workout, Pumps, okay. Energy, okay. Beta alanine, okay. Focus, okay. All on the weaker end of the average pre-workout, especially when you're paying serious money like this that you are. You need to do it separately. You need to have your muscle building components separate to your pre-workout. Pre-workouts are already fighting muscle building because you're getting into a catabolic stress state with the stimulants, the sleep, the appetite suppression, the thermogenic fat burning, adrenaline precursor pieces. They're all working against muscle building, truth be told, in an overall picture. So then to throw them, it might equal it out. What do I think? No, I just got to be real. I just think no. like I said, I like the fact they've tried to go down a unique path. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. If it was a non-stimulant, maybe more so. I think you know where I'm going. And what do you think? Okay, let me know. But yeah, I expected more from a pre-workout stance. And in order to judge the muscle building stance, I'd have to use this 3 months. I'd say at least 2 months of being real. And don't forget, you've got to set expectations with natural anabolic pieces anyway. It's not testosterone, okay? What do you think? Have you used it? Would you? It's very expensive. Guys, thanks for watching. As always, stay stimmed hybrid mass style.